So we are all tax optimizing people, but yeah, we are not using too many tools. I think in America you have Intuit or so, right? And that must have been your big role model. In Europe we have, of course, Taxfix. But before we go, first of all, for the ones who don't know, both Avid and Martin have been many times to NOAH in the past. I think you like 2 or 3 times, and Martin has been on stage. I think you're one of the very few who has spoken at the first NOAH conference in 2009.
Yes, come a long way since then.
With money bookers, I guess
Yes.
it used to be. We prepared a few questions. Well, thank you for being here. You were at Google Ventures. You're now at, I think, one of the largest co-investors, if not the largest co-investor. Maybe before we go to the question, a quick round of introduction.
Sure. I lead the European venture team at Ontario Teachers, which is a 250 billion pension plan that does direct deal investments, 25 million minimum, and check size to 250 million. We lead rounds. We also co-invest.
You lead rounds
We
also.
lead them. We price them. We sit at the board. We help where we can from a value creation standpoint, and we're very proud investors in Taxfix.
And you do also investments in funds.
And we do 20% of what we do is in funds, 80% is direct.
Like Sofina or our dinner partner, Vintera, from yesterday. Okay, amazing. Well, we see you always in the deal announcements as OTTP. Martin, over to you. You have been, I think, in between money bookers and Taxfix doing a small startup, Facebook, I believe, and you have left your corner office for Taxfix. Give me your journey over the last 10 years.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you see, never thought early on that taxes can be so exciting. As we all know, it can be a very big pain point as well. And this is
When you save them, they're exciting.
yes, yeah, and this is what we're doing is we're helping people really with this painful problem. Tax, we are the leading consumer platform for taxes in Europe. Have helped over 5 million. Tax returns, over 3.5 billion in refund. We actually brought people money back into their pockets.
So you saved 3 billion, Raisin was just talking about. So there's a lot of saving which converts, I guess, into spending. There's sentiment questions on the market. I mean, you have been startup, corporate, back to startup. You've been an investor for a very long time. What's your view on the market? We expected more people, as you know. We are very happy with the quality. So it seems to be that the quality investors are still doing high quality deals. So nothing changed for normal people like us, right? We're not chasing market trends. But what is your perspective?
I think the biggest changes, if I were to summarize it really quickly and bucket it, from a challenge perspective is the macro uncertainty. That translates into less capital being in the market, that translates into lower valuations, that you see also in sales cycles taking longer because decisions are taking longer in corporates because M&As are happening slower because of that uncertainty. This decision-making process is slower. And so
the exit horizon doubled, right? You have to wait twice as long.
You wait longer, you start with lower valuations, and all of that is because of obviously higher interest rates. They're stabilizing, but we don't know where exactly they stop. We don't know whether we're going to get a recession. We have 2 big wars, one in Europe, one in the Middle East. We have regulation uncertainty, whether it's an AI or a climate. We have big tech being cracked down on, which makes M&A more difficult. Even here, we saw it with the CMA and Figma. So all of that means that you have a lot smaller error margin for companies. Yeah. And so the best companies will be the ones that get funding because there's less capital. It's become more competitive, and there needs to be a mindset shift amongst entrepreneurs and investors in this climate. The opportunity, though, is I think that we're at the beginning of a new tech cycle underpinned by AI. Similar to 94 to 99, I went to Stanford from 96 to 2000 and saw the beginning of the internet boom. And it's similar here where at the beginning you had Me Too companies and you had brick and mortar being copied online. Right now you're seeing similar things in AI until the infrastructure is built and it's sound, and you can then have the real value being built over the next 10, 20 years. And that's where the opportunity truly is from a product perspective, not just infrastructure.
I'm tempted to ask Martin, do you use AI?
Use AI?
No, for the product.
Look, for us, of course, as Avid says, it's an important piece and big change we're seeing. We look at it from two angles. The one thing is, how do we, as a company internally, use the existing tools, become more productive, but across all teams, not just like engineering and product marketing and so on, and using this innovation. And the other thing is, of course, for our customers, we're a B2C player, but we also use external partners, is we have tax advisors connected to it. And then the question is, how do you actually create value, right? So like in a different way, making
and values can mean filing the tax return in 2 hours and not in 3 weeks and moving it from night to night to the next, right?
Or in 2 minutes. You know, that's the
is
goal.
That the average time you?
No, the average time at the moment is a bit over 20 minutes, actually, when you look at in your do-it-yourself product that you actually do it yourself, you go through. But the goal, of course, is in the future with the high digitization, the new tools, the models that allow it, even the data capturing, the interaction to be more efficient, to have it in 2 minutes, actually.
I spoke this morning to someone who is taking the credit card statements to do market research data out of them. So he integrates it. So Avid, when did you invest and how much did you invest? Are you the biggest shareholder in Taxfix?
We invested about 2 years ago in 2021, and we invested a significant amount. We invested about 150 million into the business.
So you led the round?
So we led the round, yes.
And what did you make lead the round? There was something?
So listen, for us, there was a combination of the team. Truly, it was two serial entrepreneurs, co-founders who worked together, who'd done a successful business before. One of them stepped into the chairman role, and they brought in Martin, and bringing an experienced executive who he's been around the block many times. He's seen the ups and downs.
He gets stuff done, this guy.
He does. And so there's a lot of confidence there. And then the ability to attract talent from that, and they have an incredible leadership team. The second is the market, the size of the market and the product that comes with it. Everyone has to file taxes. A lot of people fear because of complexity or because they're afraid of investigations. And so if you can build a product that makes that delightful, there's a huge market you can tap into. And then the Intuit of Europe doesn't exist.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And so we saw the ability to build something like this. It's a company that was started in '83 that's still growing at 5%, I think, per annum. So incredible, that shows the need for it. And so can we build that in Europe through Taxfix? And that was.
Nice.
And the last point was the mission. So having that mission of financial well-being, financial inclusion was incredibly important to us to see that, because that's what enables you to build a business beyond what you see today into the future. And in times of crisis, that's where it holds the glue together.
Yeah, it's kind of must file taxes, right? Must have. And then I guess the form tells you, hey, you have done a mistake here. There's an inconsistency. So when you send it, you don't need to call the tax advisor anymore. You replace the tax advisor, or is it an adjacency?
We actually offer both. One thing is that we make it very simple for our customers to file, and we give them help and advice along the way. Then they file themselves. But we also have an expert service where you can actually just pass it off to a tax advisor.
But you are not a tax advisor in a legal
No, but we have a partner.
Way.
We have a partner network of actually external tax advisors that then would help customers with their tax filing.
So looking at your career, is this now a walk in the park, Taxfix? I mean, you said you have 5 million filings already. Lexware from Haufe, I happen to know your market quite well, I think have 1 million SMBs filing taxes through their software in Germany or using their accounting software. Is the B2B market for you another thing, or would you rather go international more and go more B2C? Or the local taxes so complicated that maybe you want to focus on DACH?
Look, at the moment, we're really focused on the direct-to-consumer space in Germany, but also in Italy and Spain. So we've expanded internationally because we see it's not just a German problem. It's actually, as Avid says, this is a huge market out there. And of course, then in the future, looking at adjacent segments to build out the Intuit of Europe is clearly still an opportunity, which we're looking at the moment.
Yeah, and there are a lot of FinTech companies, I can imagine, Max from Raisin, that you can do like a little bit of a business development thing that you can get as customers. No, I don't know. Because Taxfix, everyone should do it. I mean, there's no reason not to have. Before we give tax advice, some advice for founders. I think both of you have a pretty good insight. Is it a good time to raise money? Should you wait for the market to get better? Should you not take care about the market? Well, I mean, you went fundraising. When did you do the round? 2 years ago.
Yes,
That was like the height of the market, no? Ish.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think we started then when I think already just after Russia had invaded Ukraine, so it was already.
Oh wow!
At
but that's a testimony that business model and individual company strengths can beat negative market sentiment.
But I think that's important also. Like when you ask me in terms of advice, it's you go through these different times in crisis, and there will always be a crisis. You'll have an internal one. You have pressure. You of course you need to find also partners and pick the right partners that share in the purpose and the vision, and then also support you throughout. Of course, the great times and cheer you on when things are going well, but also as a real partner, because it's a long-term partnership that supports you throughout those different phases that you go through as you're building a company. And so we've actually been very fortunate and very lucky to have found a partner with Avid that actually does exactly this.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Avid.
Thank you.
And Martin, really glad you came to
Thank
NOAH.
you. Pleasure.
And hopefully I don't have to file a German tax report anymore, but if I will certainly do it with Taxfix.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, thank you.